Uh, Rajat, congratulations on 20 years. This is, quite an achievement for somebody who operates in a niche space, and you're still churning them out. What is the thing that keeps, what is the way to sustain yourself like this? Saying, I want to make this particular kind of film, and I want to keep making this kind of film.
We need the mic?
Um,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Uh, I, I, I don't know how to answer this because there is no method to it. It's just that something drives you bad enough for you to go out and uh, look for money every time, which is the hardest part of it, really. Uh, but it drives you enough to do it, to go through that whole rigmarole of looking for money, looking for a release, looking for an audience. Uh, Rest of it, the actual making of the film is a joy. But yeah, what you have to sustain is the other part.
Right. What has changed in these 20 years? Because of late we've been hearing about crowdfunding and things like that. So how has you're making changes, what you just said, which is to run after money, how has that changed?
Uh, it goes through cycles, I think. Every 4 years it changes. Uh, so when I did my first film, actually, Private Detective, in 95, there were no multiplexes. So even if you made a film like Private Detective, there was no way it could be released.
Right.
By early 2000, it changed because multiplexes came in. So films like Ghosla Ka Ghosla or Raghu Romeo or Mixed Doubles, it became possible to have a release for these
Right.
films. And there was an audience we found suddenly. So that was a huge change. And we thought, okay, life is going to be different now, but no. Uh, Very soon, the mainstream Bollywood cinema took over that multiplex space, and we were shunted out. So you would get no shows basically. Uh, then the OTT platforms came, and we said, okay, now life will change, and it looked like that for the first 2 years. But no, again, it's gone back to the same thing. So it keeps changing. It's really cyclical.
So do you think of yourself like a lone little warrior?
No, no, I'm not alone at all because there are many, many people
Ah,
doing.
you're that.
Not alone. Not only in this sense, but there are many filmmakers who are doing what really drives them. I mean, I've seen recently a film called Pedro, which I'm sure
Natesh
you,
Hegde's film.
Nitish Hegde, phenomenal film. Or a Tamil film called Pebbles, which I saw
Yeah, yeah,
last year. Wow.
yeah.
Somebody is doing that kind of film, really a visual storytelling without any training in cinema, and what a film. Or Village Rock Stars or Chaitanya Tamhane's films. So there are many, many people, Gurvinder Singh, they're all driven by their own passion, their own desire to leave something behind, I think.
Right, right. So, before I come back to you, a question to all of the cast, which is this, one of the things that Rajat manages in all his films is to bring out something very extraordinary from his cast. So, what is it that he whispers into your ears? What does he do?
Get very talented actors.
I know one thing. When we come on the shoot, we know what scene we are going to be doing. And then I ask Rajat, or anybody, any actor asks Rajat, so what are we doing in the scene? How are we doing? He's like, I don't know. I don't, you tell me, figure it out. So this is the magic, I think.
Right. So, he lets you do what?
He watches all the actors uh, l- unfold the scene, how we want to do it, and then as a director he's watching us, and then he decides, okay, this is, you can just remove this much from here, and why don't you move a little bit more? You were static and you stay out of frame. Yeah, so little bit guidance, and yeah, we have fun.
I think what uh, Sadia is trying to say is it's more like how a sculptor works,
Right.
which is like he said, you take a talented actor and then I think that's one way he gets the best out of everyone. And I don't mean this only for actors. It's kind of odd to praise him in front of him, but still, I think that's how he collaborates with everyone on the film. Even his core team, his DOP, his editors, his production designer, sorry. And the second thing that I would say is what is contagious is his passion for film, for storytelling, and he's just really a good guy. You can that comes through. I think that comes through in his films as well.
Sharad, as a director, as the director yourself, you have any thoughts on the acting process about how you do it versus how? Uh,
W- I try and do what he does exactly. Yeah, honestly telling you. But as an actor, I was very nervous. But he puts in a lot of trust in all of us, and that gives us a lot of confidence.
right.
Another thing which I remember is that he telling me to focus on breathing as an actor, which I don't know that actors have to do that. So yeah, so that I followed sometimes. I used to forget. I used to forget that, oh, I have to focus on breathing. Then it'll come back to me, and then that's it.
Yeah. This sounds to me like, when there was an entire earlier generation of singers that did exactly what the composer asked them to do. And then Rahman comes on the scene and he starts building his music with blocks. So that is, he tells the singer, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? And why don't you do this? Of course, he has a basic framework in mind, but then he kind of incorporates the singer's improvisations or their thoughts around his basic framework into his, and then finally he sculpts, to use your word, sculpts the composition. Would that be something similar? Palomi is nodding. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes from a place of immense trust that we all feel with Rajat. I mean, for me, this the first thing you go on set, he gives everybody a big hug, and that really sets the tone, for me, especially as an actor. There's such immense, palpable love on set, and it literally permeates into everything, like every department. And it really spoils you as an actor. It's my personal experience because then you go on to other places and you're like, why is this feeling different? I mean, why can't this be like Rajat said, So it's immense trust that he puts as an actor, and then obviously you want to give everything you have in return.
Right. Neil, you have anything to say? Add to that?
Yes, very quickly. I think the one and only.
You can take your time.
Hmm?
You can take your time. You don't have to be very
Oh,
quick
thanks
about
very
it.
much.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
just so used to, like, crunching stuff. The one and only artist, Rajat Kapoor. I feel maybe he doesn't know himself how much of a genius he is. Um, when, in terms of as a captain to bring people together and encourage us, what I do want to say about this film is most of it was night shoots. We were called in by about tea time, 3:30, 4 o'clock. We'd sit, there's a gazebo, which you do see in the film. We'd all sit around over there, have our tea, coffee, read the scenes, have a fun read, have a straightforward read. Then we'd go and get ready. That reading set us all up. And then it's just like playing volleyball or football because the players and each HOD of the departments are just passing the ball and making sure you score as many goals as you can. Um, he works very efficiently, very economically, not just in finance, in time, energy, everything is reserved, everything is respected and carefully handled. And that's why you give your best.
Right. So, Rajat, see, I remember, I mean, this is a genre film, Swarabhanda. So, I mean, at least the basis is that. I remember watching Mithya many, many years ago, and that was, if you want to look at it, a kind of a Dawn kind of film, right? Like the Amitabh Bachchan Dawn kind of film, like, look-alike and all that kind of stuff. How do you take genre material and leave this authorial, fingerprints on it? I mean, what is the key to doing that? Because that's the broadest possible material, right? And this is so specific what you do every time.
I like generic cinema. It's a gangster film or a whodunit, I mean, I would like to do a musical one day. But I have not done that. But then you have to find a strong reason to make that film. Okay, I've been wanting to make a gangster film for many years. Like I've been wanting to make a horror film for many, many years. It really excites me, but I don't know what is that story.
Right.
We sat and tried a few drafts. It doesn't work. But one day we'll find a story that I want to tell in the horror space. So you wait for that story.
No, but how do you then take that story and do
No,
this?
once you have something to say, then it's a matter of craft. Like okay, so this whodunit started with idea of this guy who's really obnoxious,
Right.
and everybody had a reason to kill him, or would have a reason to kill him. Uh, and from there, when I found the, I don't want to
Yeah,
reveal.
yeah, yeah.
When I found what really excited me about this, so I knew the beginning and the end,
Right.
kind of. And then it's a matter of filling that space with people with characters who are fun, with the stories you want to tell through those characters, and so on. So that's a matter of craft in some way.
Right. So let me get a little more specific with that because let's not talk about this film because you want people to watch.